Hello everyone. Welcome back to the series of All India Bar Exam Previous Year Question Paper. और हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे हमारे प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स एंड केसेस ऑफ प्रोफेशनल मिसकंडक्ट अंडर द बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया रूल्स एंड आल्सो अबाउट द एडवोकेट्स एक्ट और ये हमारा पार्ट 2 है। तो हमारा आज का पहला क्वेश्चन है विक्रमादित्य वर्सेस श्रीमती जमीला खातून is an important case relating to professional misconduct due to which factor? Option 1. Advocate attending the court with firearms. Option 2. Not appearing before the court deliberately and intentionally. Option 3. Suppression of material facts with intention to harass poor persons. Option 4. Defrauding the client by exploiting the client's illiteracy. And the correct answer to this question is option 4, that is defrauding the client by exploiting client's illiteracy. The next question is, what is the punishment for advocates if the established findings of the Bar Council is misappropriation? Option 1, impose a fine. Option 2, name of the advocate will be struck off from the rolls. Option 3, suspension from practice. या option 4, all of the above. So the correct answer to this question is all of the above. That is, the punishment for advocate if the established finding of the Bar Council is misappropriation, then it can impose a fine, name of the advocate will be struck off from the rolls, and the suspension from practice. The next question is, on being aggrieved by the order of the State Bar Council, one can appeal to option 1, High Court, option 2, Supreme Court, option 3, Bar Council of India, or is it option 4, that is Indian Law Commission? And the correct answer to this question would be option 3, that is Bar Council of India. That means on being aggrieved by the order of State Bar Council, one can appeal to the Bar Council of India. Our next question is, which section of the Advocates Act provides punishment for misconduct of the advocates? Is it section 29, section 35, section 37, or is it all of the above? And the correct answer to this question is option 2, that is section 35. I have already told you that section 35 is one of the important section और इस section को कई बार पूछा जा चुका है. इस section में बात हो रही है Advocates Act provides punishment for the misconduct of the advocate. Okay, section 35 of the Advocates Act 1961. Our next question is, general power of the Bar Council of India to make rules is envisaged under which section of the Advocates Act 1961? General power of the Bar Council of India to make rules. Okay. Is it option 1, section 48? Option 2, that is section 49 of the Advocates Act? Option 3, that is section 2 of the Advocates Act? Or is it option 4, that is section 4A of the Advocates Act? So the correct answer to this question is option 2, that is section 49 of the Advocates Act 1961 provides the general power of the Bar Council of India to make rules. The next question is, the 7 lamps of advocacy is attributable to? Is it Justice Abbott Perry, Justice Hayward, Justice Bhagwati, or is it Justice Gray? लास्ट के वीडियो में हमने 7 लैम्प्स के बारे में बात करी गई थी कि वो कौन से 7 पॉइंट्स हैं जो एक एडवोकेट के लिए एट्रीब्यूटेबल होता है, एक एडवोकेट को ध्यान रखनी चाहिए. ठीक है, और हमने बताया था कि ये बात किसके द्वारा कही गई थी. एंड द करेक्ट आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन इज ऑप्शन 1, दैट इज जस्टिस अबॉट पेरी. आवर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, व्हिच सेक्शन अंडर द एडवोकेट्स एक्ट 1961 स्पीक्स of disciplinary powers of the Bar Council of India? Disciplinary powers of the Bar Council of India. Is it section 35, Is it section 37, section 36, or is it section 39 of the Advocates Act 1961? तो क्वेश्चन नंबर 32 का सही आंसर है ऑप्शन 3, दैट इज सेक्शन 36 ऑफ द एडवोकेट्स एक्ट 1961 talks about the disciplinary parts of the Bar Council of India. Okay, section 36. Remember that. Our next question is, which section of the Advocates Act 1961 speaks about the constitution of legal aid committees? Is it section 9 of the Advocates Act 1961? Section 10 of the Advocates Act 1961? Is it section 9A of the Advocates Act 1961? Or is it section 10A of the Advocates Act 1961? And the correct answer to this question is option 3, that is section 9A of the Advocates Act 1961 talks about the constitution of legal aid committees. The next question is, in which famous case this issue had come up? Whether the advocate had committed a professional misconduct and is guilty of the offence of criminal contempt of the court for having interfered with and obstructed the course of justice by trying to threaten, overawe, and overbear the court by using insulting, disrespectful, and threatening language. I hope आपको क्वेश्चन समझ आ गया है. And the options are Vinay Chandra Mishra in Ray. Option 2, ex-captain Harish Uppal versus Union of India. Is it option 3, Hikmat Ali Khan versus Ishwar Prasad Arya and others? Or is it option 4, that is none of the above? अब क्वेश्चन एक बार और देख लीजिए. पूछा जा रहा है, in which of the following cases, famous cases, this issue had come up? That is, whether the advocate had committed a professional misconduct and is guilty of the offence of the criminal contempt of the court for having interfered with and obstructed the course of justice by trying to threaten, overawe, and overbear the court by using insulting, disrespectful, and threatening language. And the correct answer to this question is option 1, that is विनय चंद्र मिश्रा के केस में ये बात उठी थी. Okay, this issue had come up. Our next question is, see, misconduct would cover any activity or conduct which his professional breathings of the good repute and competency would reasonably regard as disgraceful or dishonorable. It may be noted that the scope of misconduct is not restricted by the technical interpretations of rules of conduct. This was proven conclusively in the case of. ठीक है, आप एक सेकेंड के लिए पॉज करके इस क्वेश्चन को अच्छी तरह से समझ लीजिए. ये केस लॉ का क्वेश्चन है और हमारे पास ऑप्शंस हैं. नरोत्तमन कोरसिया वर्सेस चौरसिया होगा. ओके, चौरसिया वर्सेस MR मुरली. बार काउंसिल ऑफ महाराष्ट्र वर्सेस MB दाभोलकर. इन NG दास्ताने वर्सेस श्रीकांत S शिंदे. Or is it option 4, BM Verma versus Uttarakhand Regulatory Commission? And the correct answer to this question is option 2, that is Bar Council of Maharashtra versus MV Dabholkar. The next question is, in which case where the advocate of one of the parties was asking for continuous adjournment to the immense inconvenience of the opposite party, it was held by the Supreme Court that seeking adjournment for postponing the examination of witnesses who were present without making other arrangements for examining such witnesses is a dereliction of the duty that an advocate owed to the court accounting to misconduct. ये भी केस लॉ का क्वेश्चन है. आप पॉज करके इस क्वेश्चन को भी एक बार फिर से पढ़ लीजिए. उसके बाद मैं आपको ऑप्शंस बताती हूँ. So the options are option 1, that is NG Dastane versus Shrikant S. Shinde. Option 2, Shambhu Ram Yadav versus Hanuman Das Khatri. Option 3, Narottam Chaurasia versus M.R. Murli. CH. Or is it none of the above? And the correct answer to this question would be option 1, that is NG Dastane versus Shrikant S. Shinde. हमारा next question है, pick out the case that is popularly called as the solicitor's case. इनमें से कौन से केस को हम solicitor's case कहते हैं? Is it Ahmedabad Textile Industries Research Association versus the State of Bombay? Option 2, National Union of Commercial Employees versus Industrial Tribunal Bombay. Salim Advocates Bar Association versus the Union of India. Or is it option 4, that is Central Machine Tools Institute versus Deputy Registrar of the Trade Unions. Okay, DY, that means Deputy Registrar of Trade Unions, popularly known as solicitor's case. और solicitor's case हम कहते हैं option 3, that is Salim Advocates Bar Association versus Union of India. और ये केस आपके CPC में भी बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. The next question is, Bar Council of India consists of following as ex officio member. ठीक है, क्वेश्चन समझ गए. और हमारे पास ऑप्शन है अटॉर्नी जनरल ऑफ इंडिया, सॉलिसिटर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया, बोथ 1 and 2, या फिर नन ऑफ द अबव. क्वेश्चन पूछा गया कि बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया कंसिस्ट ऑफ फॉलोइंग एज एक्स ऑफिशियो मेंबर, किसे एक्स ऑफिशियो मेंबर माना जाता है. एंड द करेक्ट आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन इज ऑप्शन 3, दैट इज बोथ 1 and 2, मतलब अटॉर्नी जनरल ऑफ इंडिया भी एंड सॉलिसिटर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया. Our next question is, Indian Bar Committee was constituted first time under the chairmanship of Sir Edward Charmier in the year. कौन से year में हुआ था? Okay, Indian Bar Committee कौन से year में बनी थी under the chairmanship of Sir Edward? और हमारे options हैं option 1, that is 1927, option 2, 1949, is it option 3, that is 1961, or is it option 4, 1923? For the first time when it was constituted. And the correct answer to this question is option 4, that is 1923 में for the first time Indian Bar Committee को constitute करा गया था. The next question is, when was the Advocate Act introduced? Is it option 1, 1962, option 2, 1959, option 3, 1961, or is it option 4, 1966? तो हमने इतने बार एडवोकेट्स एक्ट के बारे में पढ़ लिया, इतने बार एडवोकेट्स एक्ट का हमने नाम ले लिया है. हमारा सही आंसर है ऑप्शन 3, दैट इज 1961. The next question is, power of disciplinary committee, okay, COMMITTEE. The power of disciplinary committee under the Advocate Act is provided under. डिसिप्लिनरी कमिटी के बारे में एडवोकेट्स एक्ट के कौन से सेक्शन में दिया गया है? इज इट ऑप्शन 1, दैट इज सेक्शन 42, सेक्शन 53, सेक्शन 40, और इज इट सेक्शन 36? एंड द करेक्ट आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन इज ऑप्शन 1, दैट इज सेक्शन 42 टॉक्स अबाउट द पावर ऑफ द डिसिप्लिनरी कमिटी अंडर द एडवोकेट्स एक्ट 1961. द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, द फंडामेंटल एम ऑफ लीगल एथिक्स is to maintain the honor and dignity of the law profession. Okay, we know this. To secure a spirit of friendly cooperation between the bench and the bar in promotion of the highest standard of justice. To establish honorable and fair dealings of the counsel with his client, opponent and witnesses. To establish a spirit of brotherhood in the bar itself, and to secure the lawyers discharge their responsibilities to the community generally. अब कौन से जस्टिस की ये स्टेटमेंट है। इन स्टेटमेंट से तो हमें पता चला कि एक एडवोकेट के क्या क्या एथिक्स होते हैं, क्या क्या उनकी ड्यूटीज एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज होती है। और इसके ऑप्शंस हैं चीफ जस्टिस मार्शल, चीफ जस्टिस कोक, चीफ जस्टिस हाल्सबरी, और इज इट चीफ जस्टिस बेकन? And the correct answer to this question is option 1, that is Chief Justice Marshall has given this statement. Our next question is duty of an advocate. Duty of an advocate towards his client is detailed out in which rule of the Bar Council of India? Is it Rule 33 to 38? Is it Rule 11 to 33? Rule 23 to 27? Or is it Rule 33 to 36? बात करी जा रही है ड्यूटी ऑफ एन एडवोकेट टुवर्ड्स हिज क्लाइंट और किस रूल में ये डिटेल्स दिए गए हैं। So the correct answer to this question is option 2, that is from Rule 11 to Rule 33. Our next question is which section under the Advocates Act 1961 deals with disqualification as enrollment? बात हो रही है disqualification as enrollment, तो which section में ये बात कही गई है? Is it section 25 clause A of the Advocates Act 1961, section 26A of the Advocates Act 1961, section 27A of the Advocates Act 1961, or is it section 24A of the Advocates Act 1961? And the correct answer to this question is option 4, that is section 24A of the Advocates Act 1961 deals with the disqualification as to enrollment. The next question is who has the authority to prescribe qualifications and disqualifications for the membership of a bar council? Option 1, State Bar Council. Option 2, Bar Council of India. Option 3, Supreme Court of India. Or is it option 4, Supreme Court Bar Association? पूछा गया है कि who has the authority to prescribe qualifications and disqualification for the membership of a bar council? तो इसका आंसर तो आपको पता होना चाहिए, ऑप्शन 2, दैट इज बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया। हम जो एग्जाम दे रहे हैं वो भी तो हमारे ऑल इंडिया बार एग्जाम हो रहा है, ये बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया की तरफ से ये एग्जाम हो रहा है। The next question is Indian Council of Legal Aid and Advice versus BCI case deals with the issue of option 1, prescribing pre-enrollment training for the advocates. Option 2, prescribing minimum qualification for an advocate. Option 3, prescribing uniform attire for the advocates appearing in the court of law. Or is it option 4, prescribing age bar on the enrollment of the advocates? Indian Council of Legal Aid and Advice versus BCI केस के बारे में बोला गया है। And the correct answer to this question is option 1, that is prescribing pre-enrollment training for the advocates. The next question is for transfer of role from one state to another, an application is made to. आप अपना रोल ट्रांसफर कराना चाहते हैं फ्रॉम वन स्टेट टू अनदर, तो आपको एक एप्लीकेशन देना पड़ेगा, और वो एप्लीकेशन आप किसे दे सकते हैं? ऑप्शन 1, बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया. ऑप्शन 2, स्टेट बार काउंसिल वेयर वन इज एनरोल्ड. ऑप्शन 3, स्टेट बार काउंसिल वेयर वन सीक्स ट्रांसफर. Or is it option 4, that is High Court of the state where one is enrolled? And the correct answer to this question is option 4, that is High Court of the state where one is enrolled. The next question is which of the following committees cannot be constituted by the State Bar Council? Option 1, Special Committee. Option 2, Disciplinary Committee. Option 3, Legal Aid Committee. Or is it option 4, Legal Education Committee? So the correct answer to this question is option 4, that is Legal Education Committee cannot be constituted by the State Bar Council. The next question is Which of the following statement is least accurate about the specifications regarding an advocate's signboard? लीस्ट एक्यूरेट स्टेटमेंट पूछा गया यहाँ पर ओके हमारा पहला ऑप्शन है इट शुड बी ऑफ रीजनेबल साइज इट मे स्टेट द एडवोकेट्स एरिया ऑफ एक्सपर्टीज और प्रैक्टिस इट शुड नॉट स्टेट दैट द एडवोकेट हैज बीन अ जज it should not state that the advocate is a member of bar council. So the correct answer to this question is option 2, that is it may state the advocate's area of expertise or practice. So this is the least accurate statement about the specifications regarding an advocate's signboard. Alright. Our next question is A. An advocate received money on behalf of a client. Client का नाम C है. A did not intimate C of the receipt of money, but noted in his accounts that he had received money on behalf of C and set aside the amount as his fees in full. On discovering that A had received the money, C demanded the money. A assures C that once the proceeding is over, C would have had to pay A fees anyway, and that he has already recorded in his accounts that his fees have been paid in full. In light of these facts, which of the following statement is the most accurate application of the principle below? आप एक बार क्वेश्चन को अच्छी तरह से पढ़िए पॉज करके. आई होप आप क्वेश्चन समझ गए हैं. तो मैं ऑप्शंस पढ़ती हूँ. The options are, our first option is A has clearly fulfilled his duty by recording in the register that he has received C's money as fees. Option 2, A had fulfilled his duty by recording in the register that he has received C's money as fees, but should have handed over the money to C on his demand. C erred in setting aside C's money for fees without written permission. Or is it option 4, that is A is entitled to his fees and was within his rights to set aside the money as fees as noted in his account that his fees had been paid in full. ये क्वेश्चन थोड़ा सा लंबा है और आप इसलिए परेशान नहीं होइएगा कि आपको ज्यादा टाइम लग रहे हैं क्वेश्चंस बनाने में. ठीक है, क्योंकि अगर आप कहीं पर ज्यादा समय दे रहे हैं तो कई ऐसे भी क्वेश्चंस आएंगे जहां पर आपको बहुत ही कम समय लगने वाले हैं, जैसे जो सेक्शंस वाले क्वेश्चंस रहते हैं. अगर आपको सेक्शन याद है तो आपके वो क्वेश्चंस एकदम 10 सेकंड में 2 सेकंड में बन जाने वाले हैं. तो इसका सही आंसर है ऑप्शन 3, दैट इज A erred in setting aside C's money for fees without written permission. The next question is, C has engaged an advocate A. B is C's mother and she asks A to withdraw the suit filed by C as the litigation is causing public embarrassment to the entire family. What should A do? Principal. An advocate has a duty to act only on the instruction of client and no one else. ठीक है? Our options are, A should withdraw the suit since the family name is at stake. B has a fiduciary relation with C and A would therefore be obliged to withdraw the suit for the benefit of the C's family on B's instruction. A has a duty to refrain from fomenting litigation, from forming, okay, forming, forming litigation, and should therefore withdraw the suit. A has a professional obligation to act solely on the instructions of the client C. आप खुद को इमेजिन करिए अगर आप उस जगह पर रहते तो आप क्या करते. एंड द करेक्ट आंसर विल बी ऑप्शन 4. अगर आप उस जगह पर रहते तो आपकी ये प्रोफेशनल ऑब्लिगेशन है कि आपको सोली एक्ट करना पड़ेगा ऑन द इंस्ट्रक्शंस ऑफ द क्लाइंट एंड शुड नॉट विथड्रॉ द सूट ऑन दीज इंस्ट्रक्शन. ठीक है, The next question is, A is one of 5 children. A and the other 4 siblings are all equal heirs to a family property. On account of a quarrel between the siblings, A approaches an advocate, C, who advises them not to approach the court and to instead settle their dispute amicably. A insists that C takes the matter to court. C is later reprimanded by the bar council of the concerned state for not having insisted on a settlement. Is C at fault? The options are, yes, C is at fault as he effectively pushed A into litigation by not providing proper advice. No, C has fulfilled his duty by advising the client to avoid litigation and by encouraging settlement in the given case. Yes, C's duty to refrain from forming litigation extends beyond mere advice and he should have avoided litigation at all costs. Or is it option 4? Yes, C's duty to refrain from fomenting litigation that means litigation अपना वापस लेना, overrules his duty to protect his client. ठीक है? So the correct answer to this question will be option 2, that is no. C has fulfilled his duty by advising the client to avoid litigation and encouraging the settlement in the given case. Our next question is, see, A यहाँ पर एक advocate है and he found that to have committed a contempt of the Supreme Court by trying to influence a judge of the court. A's punishment for the contempt. The Supreme Court directs that A's license to practice as an advocate can be cancelled. Can the Supreme Court do this? You tell. Option 1. Yes, the Supreme Court can cancel A's license to practice as an advocate since it is a court of record and has the power to punish for contempt of itself. Yes, the Supreme Court can cancel A's license to practice as an advocate since it is the highest court in the land and an advocate who is in contempt of the Supreme Court should not have the right to practice. Option 3. No. The Supreme Court cannot cancel A's license to practice since an advocate's license to practice, once granted, is irrecoverable on any ground whatsoever. Irrevocable, okay? Irrevocable on any ground. Or is it option 4? No, the Supreme Court cannot do this since its power of punishment for contempt may extend to fine or imprisonment, but not to cancelling an advocate's license to practice. ठीक है? तो ये हमारे चारों ऑप्शंस हो गए. आई होप आपने क्वेश्चन अच्छी तरह पढ़ लिया था. और क्वेश्चन नंबर 53 का सही आंसर है ऑप्शन 4. That is, Supreme Court cannot do this since its power of punishment for contempt may extend to fine or imprisonment, but not to cancelling an advocate's license to practice. Okay? हमारा next question है, which of the following is not an external aid that may be used to assist in constructing the meaning of a piece of legislation? Which of the following is not an external aid? Okay? And the options are parliamentary debates, law commission reports, decision of courts in other jurisdiction, or option 4, proviso to a provision in the statute. And the correct answer to this question is option 4, that is provision to a provision in the statute is not an external aid, because ये तो एक internal aid हो गई ना. ये बात तो हमें statute में ही मिल जाने वाली है, लेकिन बाकी ये तीन चीजें एक्सटर्नल एड है बिकॉज हमें स्टैट्यूट में नहीं मिल रही है. ये हम अलग से पता कर रहे हैं. द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, अकॉर्डिंग टू द एडवोकेट्स एक्ट 1961, who among the following are least likely to be admitted as advocate? Option 1, persons who have been guilty of a traffic offense, persons who have been guilty of civil contempt of court, persons who are convicted of an offense under the Untouchability Offences Act 1955, or option 4, persons who have been accused of an attempt to commit suicide. Attempt to commit suicide. And the correct answer to this question is option 3, that is persons who are convicted of an offense under the Untouchability Act. ठीक है? Least likely to be admitted as advocates पूछा गया है, ठीक है? तो जो पर्सन ऑलरेडी कन्विक्ट हो चुके हैं फॉर एन ऑफेंस, तो उन पर कम चांस है कि उन्हें एडवोकेट बनने का मौका मिले. Our next question is, which of the following statement is least accurate about the restrictions on the employment of the advocates? Option 1, practicing advocate cannot personally engage in any business. A practicing advocate cannot be the chairman of the board of directors of a company. Board of directors, okay. A practicing advocate can be the director of a company. Or is it option 4, that is practicing advocate cannot be a full-time salaried employee of any person? And the correct answer to this question is option 2. That is, a practicing advocate cannot be the chairman of the board of directors of a company. पूछा गया है least accurate about the restrictions on the employment, okay? The next question is, और ये आज का हमारा लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, और इस क्वेश्चन के कंप्लीट होते ही हमारा एडवोकेट्स एक्ट के सारे क्वेश्चंस कंप्लीट हो जाएंगे, ठीक है? Which of the following statement does not describe a duty of an advocate? Option 1, advocate should not appear in case in which the advocate believes that she will be a witness. An advocate shall defend a person accused of a crime regardless of the advocate's personal opinion as to guilt of the accused. Option 3, as advocate has a duty to protect any information that the client communicates, even if it is in the furtherance of an illegal purpose. Or is it option 4, that is, an advocate must not at any time foment litigation? And the correct answer to this question is option 3, that is, an advocate has a duty to protect any information that the client communicates, even if it is in furtherance of an illegal purpose. ठीक है? और इसी के साथ हमारा एडवोकेट्स एक्ट के सारे एमसीक्यूज कंप्लीट होते हैं. आई होप आपको ये वीडियोस पसंद आ रहे होंगे. आप अपना फीडबैक हमारे कमेंट बॉक्स में दे सकते हैं. थैंक यू.